freestyle skier from Switzerland competing in the Olympics. And the whether or not he wins a medal on the slopes, he deserves one for this. Check out Fabian. He's not just a freestyle skier, he's also a freestyle escalator rider. Chris Carter, how impressed are you by this?
I was a little scared at the beginning, and now he's a freestyle, so he would take a chance. I thought he was going to fall. I was worried about him, but man, I was very impressed, but he was too cool about it. He made it look too easy. Like, I was concerned that he was going to fall.
That was...
What's the competition they have on NBC, American Ninja Warrior?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This should be as part of American Ninja Warrior, shouldn't it?
I'm just impressed with the body weight distribution thing.
Well, plus his shoulders got to be super, super strong.
Yeah.
But look, he's from Switzerland, so I'm kind of neutral to the whole thing.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
But like, this is one of those. Honestly. This and Shaun White crying into his parents' arms are the two most memorable moments so far of the Olympic Games.
Well, actually, this right here will double the time that I spent watching the Olympics.
You know what?
me too.
Low-key shade in the morning from Chris Carter. All right, time now for some stories to start your morning. Mike Shula, who'll be the new offensive coordinator of the New York Giants. Shula spent the last 7 seasons with my Carolina Panthers, first as the QB coach, then as their OC. Chris Carter, what will this hiring mean for Odell Beckham, Eli Manning, and the Giants?
Well, first of all, OBJ, let me give you a little update on my little man.
Good.
He is so ready. The problem is he is already bugging Pat Shurmur to death. We did the honors awards. I presented an award, and Pat Shurmur was there. Oh man, he bugged him to death. He's in great shape, mentally and physically. So I believe any offensive coach would have been great for Odell at this time. Of course, he wasn't happy with the previous situation. But what I think this means is what Carolina did that was very impressive, Doug, you brought this out, about their running game. And does this change their draft as far as the players that they look at? Most people will say at that number 4 spot, man, you got to get a quarterback for the future. But in talking with Doug has some good insight that he believes the Shula hire will benefit them.
Well, not just that, but Pat Shurmur said Eli Manning's my quarterback. And if Eli Manning's going to be your quarterback, if you're drafting in the top 5, and the Giants never draft in the top 5, you're going to draft a guy to sit behind. It means somebody's going to be on the bench eventually, right? Saquon Barkley's sitting out there. He's a local kid. And you look at what Zeke Elliott has brought. You look at what the Rams have at running back. Like
L. Bell. Those 3 backs
at Le'Veon Bell. You look at the elite running backs in the league. Generally, you don't want to draft a running back that high unless they're far and away the best running back. And you already have a star wide receiver. You already have a quarterback. If you're going to move on from Eli, you should move on from Eli. But if Eli's going to be your quarterback, put pieces around him. And with a guy who built a great running game to help Cam Newton and go to a Super Bowl, Shurmur obviously kind of a quarterback guru, offensive guru. Now you have both. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they either try and develop Davis Webb, draft a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th round and try and develop him and focus on running back and winning now.
And get a real playmaker. Okay, to the NBA. Paul Pierce, he's done a lot of yapping about his own jersey getting retired. But now that that's already happened, he's shifting attention to one of his former teammates. Pierce says that Kevin Garnett will without a doubt have his number retired in Boston. KG played just 6 seasons for the Celtics, but he was pivotal in their 2008 title. Chris Carter, is 6 seasons enough in one place to have your jersey retired there?
I believe it's enough in some places. Now, for me, I'm more of a historian. And the legendary franchises, I just believe you have to do some things very special. Now, Kevin Garnett, he was part of the influx of talent that changed Boston. I think they were last in their division the year before they were able to win that NBA championship. So that right there to be able to change the culture. Kevin Garnett's one of my favorite players, but I saw a lot of those years in Minnesota. So I didn't think that, given the legendary franchise the Celtics have, 6 years is quite enough with one title.
It's probably not. It's probably not. But because they won the title, because he was a culture changer, because he was the unquestioned leader of that team. Paul Pierce was the best scorer. Kevin Garnett was the unquestioned leader of that team. Now, they needed Ray Allen. They needed Rajon Rondo. But he kind of made it all work. He was a great passer, a versatile defender, played at that high post, could score some of the low posts. Look, I would prefer him to be recognized as a Minnesota Timberwolf who chased a ring and won a title with the Celtics. But I think because of the complete culture change that he helped implement, I think he'll probably get it retired, even if
you got me leaning.
Even most of the old Celtics are probably rolling there. You know, Larry Bird's like, come on, you know, and Kevin McHale, come on.
I still see him as a Timberwolves 2 guys. But listen, on to the Warriors. Steve Kerr, he decided to let some of his players actually do the coaching on Monday night's game. Kerr said yesterday that he was amazed, shocked that this decision was even a story. Doug, are people making way too big of a deal out of this whole Steve Kerr situation?
Of course they are, but we make a deal about everything too.
That's
right?
what we do.
Right. I'm not just saying us on TV. I'm saying that we're in the everybody hates everything
We're outraged.
Era.
All the time.
I haven't been on Twitter, but I'm sure I've offended somebody. Chris Carter's offended somebody. You've offended somebody. Everybody's offended every day. And right now we're offended that because the Phoenix Suns are not a team that is actually competitive in the NBA.
Right. They're tanking without trying.
No, they're trying to tank, and they're doing a really good job. Like, I don't know if you saw the Dallas Lakers game, but the Dallas won, and they were tanking. They're bad at tanking right now. The Phoenix is very good at tanking. But somehow we're bothered by a guy who's been a really successful coach who admits it's not his team, it's the players' team. And he admits that they hadn't been playing well and he wanted to communicate.
Yes.
Like, he's admitting fault and flaw by handing over the clipboard to a couple of veterans.
Right.
I don't know what more you could ask for in a coach, but as social media tends to run so much of the world or reaction to the world, somebody hates something, everybody hates everything. Somebody has a problem with this. I think it's really a problem with themselves and their own coach.
Right. There were a lot of people that hated the Warriors just for hating the style for which they played. They didn't like Steph. They hated Steph. Then they got KD, so now they hate KD.
Right.
And no one's really hated Steve Kerr, but because now he's coaching the Warriors, like, it's easy to hate the Warriors. But he's got a tough job. I know they think anyone can coach the Warriors, but to keep their mind fresh, to keep guys engaged. Also, when you high achievers, it also takes some creativeness to be able to keep them interested in the mundane January basketball, beginning of February basketball. How does he do that? He has the players coach a little bit. I like Steve Kerr. I like the Golden State organization, how they do things a little bit unconventional.
It's okay, Coach Kerr. Let the haters hate. Finally, the Houston Rockets, they beat the Timberwolves 126-108 last night. James Harden led the way, 34 points, 13 assists. Don't look now, but the Rockets, they're just half a game away from Warriors in the West Coast. How real of a threat is Houston to Golden State, Chris Carter?
I believe the threat is real. You know, can they compete with Golden State if they're able to get to the final? And I believe it's a little more important than some other team. I believe it's important for them to have home court advantage. So if they have James Harden, who wins MVP, they end up with the best record, and they get to the Western Conference Final. Yes, of course they have an opportunity. Now, they got some demons that they're going to have to slay along the way. D'Antonio, his system, does it finally win in the playoff? Chris Paul, can he stay healthy in the playoff? And can Harden follow up an MVP season better than what he did last season when he disappeared in the playoffs? So I'm looking forward to whoever they match up with in the semifinals, because I believe that will be a tall tale sign. If Golden State gets San Antonio in the semifinals, I believe Houston has a better chance. What if Houston gets San Antonio? Then their chances aren't as good. I do believe home court advantage is more important to them mentally than the other teams. But, yes, they can compete with Golden State for the West.
It's weird because I think most teams, if you added Joe Johnson at this point in the season, you're like, man, Joe Johnson was getting buckets last year when the Jazz beat the Clippers. Joe Johnson can get buckets. But it strikes me as a team that, despite their record, and even though you'd say you're adding kind of to a talent base, you're still searching for something, and he just doesn't fit what they've been about to get to this place.
It
right?
helps them the first 3 quarters, but there's a conflict in what they're trying to do in the 4th quarter.
Right. They want ball movers, not ball stoppers, and Joe Johnson is a ball stopper. Chris Paul can be a ball stopper. James Harden can be a ball stopper. And, like, look, a bad shot or an isolation play can be like the flu. One dude's got it, and the next dude's got it, and the next dude's got it. And pretty soon you have what you had in Cleveland the last month and a half, right? So, forgive me, but I'm not gonna buy the stock of the Houston Rockets because I've seen James Harden flame out enough. I've seen Mike D'Antoni flame out enough, and I love Chris Paul, but I've yet to see him stay healthy long enough to not flame out too early in the playoffs. And until otherwise convinced, I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors as being the far more likely team, because I don't even know if Houston's going to get past San Antonio. Couldn't do it last year. I don't know if they're going to get past Oklahoma City even before they get the Golden State Warriors.
That's very real. But just because I'm curious, let's go into Chris' hypothet. Let's say Houston does go to the finals. We know the Cavs are the underdog if they meet up with Golden State in the finals. Are they also the underdog if they go against Houston?
I think they're probably still a slight underdog, not as much to Golden State. I believe they match up well with Houston, though. I believe that Cleveland would give Houston more problems because their bench. Cleveland's bench and Golden State's bench. That's where Cleveland, I believe, has an edge.
Look, I know that Cleveland changed their personnel dramatically, but I also saw Houston go in there and beat them by 40, like a week ago. So I would say Houston will still be the prohibitive favorite.
It's the new Cavs.
It is the new Cavs. It is the new Cavs.
Me, you, and 3 guys could have beat Cleveland last month. You can guard Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, who's got to guard LeBron? You guard LeBron?
Well, we're going to have to do something about that. Yeah. That's a situation.
All right, we're going to keep talking about LBJ. Now, he's been on clearly a very nice little run recently, but the big story is where will he be next year? Clearly, this man has a free agency upcoming. Now, the odds are out that he'll end up at the Rockets. They are the betting favorite to land LeBron, followed, though, by the Cavs, where he currently is, the Lakers, and then the Warriors. Chris Carter, if you were a betting man, where would you put your money on LeBron landing?
I wasn't a betting man before I met my partner. I'm not going to mention his name again. Wasn't a betting man, but, man, he kind of taught me the hard way how to lose a wager or two.
Okay.
LeBron doesn't know right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what happened at the trade deadline, say the probability, whatever the percentage were, if it was just straight at 50-50, with younger players, with Dan Gilbert and Kobe able to pull off the trades that they did and getting the type of assets that they got, younger, more shooters, and it puts pressure on their current roster, the percentage had to go up for him staying in Cleveland. Yeah. Now, Doug has some little inside information. He doesn't believe that Houston is a real possibility. So I believe right now the Cleveland Cavaliers are the favorite because they hold the asset. And also, LeBron is from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, we can't forget that part.
Yeah, but he has left. He's left before. We know that.
Look, but he's got sweat equity there,
Sure.
and like moving sucks.
He delivered.
And moving sucks. Anybody who's ever moved, like, moving stinks. I know he has a house in L.A.
At least one.
And I know he already has the schools for the boys picked out as well. Sure. But, everybody wants change. Transition is hard. Look, I don't think Houston's real. I don't think he's going to go and play on a team with James Harden, who's a big Adidas guy, and help bring James Harden's brand to his level, to a championship level. I don't buy that.
And for those who don't follow the sneaker game, like, it is real.
Very.
Between Nike, brand Jordan, and Adidas, it is a battle. Yeah. And LeBron would tilt the balance no matter where he went.
And Adidas has made some gains recently. He doesn't want to help that. I think the Lakers are real, and I actually think what's happened here, playing with young players and being re-energized by it, I think that helps the Lakers pitch, because the Lakers pitch is going to be, hey, look what you did with Cleveland. They added young players. Come to our team. We'll add Paul George.
Yeah, and we got better young players.
We got better young players. I think Houston was thrown out there and other possibilities thrown out there for leverage because LeBron wants to pick the coach in L.A., like a David Fizdale. I think he wants to have his guys around the place, whereas the Lakers, they want to do things the way that Miami did things, where, hey, you come here, you play for the Lakers, and you figure out your own brand off the floor.
And if we're talking the business component, which you bring up with the sneakers, Doug, L.A. is home of Hollywood. And we know that King James has a production company, is big into the television, entertainment, and filmmaking space, so it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Coming up, a Hall of Famer cowboy has some very harsh words for his former team.
Yeah,
That's
get that
next
right now.
On First Things First.
Yeah, get that right, because the Cowboys always have me talking bad about it.
Right.
They're used to that.
If you like spice and fish, there's